Inertia is still biting. If I do this, she's still got that habit of running away. I'm Zach George. I train dogs, and this is my new dog, Inertia. I'm taking you along as I train her from day one. You can start from the beginning or pick up anywhere and start learning. Welcome to the Dog Training Experience. In this episode, we're going to continue to work on Inertia's puppy biting. We'll take her to the vet and continue working on lots of her fun general training. Today's video is sponsored by PetFlow. Sign up for automatic pet food delivery and get $10 off your first 3 automatic shipments. Just choose your food, PetFlow has all of the brands, and tell them how often you want it delivered. I'll have a link and discount code in the description below. I'm here at the vet to get Inertia her next round of vaccines. I'm curious to see how she responds, if she does well like she has so far. She's a little more energetic today, so she might be a little less cooperative. So I'll do my best to mitigate that and teach her how to behave nicely while getting her shots. If you have a puppy, and since they need to go to the vet multiple times over several weeks, it's a really good opportunity to start getting them comfortable with the vet, giving them treats when they do the right thing. I'd even like to do some training with Inertia here if she's receptive in this new environment. You can see she's highly distractible right now being in a new place. Let me see if I can get her to come to me. That would be good. I'm not trying to make things too hard for her. See how she's not interested in this chicken right now? Look at that. Nope, not interested. So it's on me to really try and get her interested in coming to me. If your dog isn't responsive to one type of reward, try other things. Come on. Yes. So in this case, it looks like Inertia is more responsive to a playful person than a treat. Hey, Inertia, what's this? Come on. Yes. Good job. So just getting her to come at a few feet away in this small, controlled environment. Anytime you're in a new place like this, if you can get them listening to you in new places, that really is the secret to having a trained dog. She's feeling a little anxious now, so I'll stop. No big deal. It's been like 30 seconds. You can see Inertia's in a calmer state of mind here. I like that. Again, you've heard me talk a lot about capturing calmness and acknowledging when your dog is being calm. Yes. Good job. See if she takes any treats now. There you go. It's there if you want it. So there she goes. Now she's taking treats. So that indicates to me that her anxiety level has subsided a bit, and I'm just fine to let her calm down for a bit if she wants to.
Oh my goodness, hi there. It's good to see you. Yes. She's like, no, stop. Hey, get me the other eye, then you get a cookie. Or if you want a treat now.
Well, go ahead and get her to look at you, and then I'm going to click that when she's complying.
Oh, good job.
Good, and then I'll leave you alone. That should...
Oh, no, you're fine. Good job.
Yes, good job. Here you go.
And I'll get the good
Nice job.
stuff out.
Good job. Yes, look at you calming down. Very good.
For our vaccines today,
Yes.
we're going to do Bordetella, distemper, lepto, parvo, parainfluenza, and adenovirus, and we're also going to do flu, because I know we talked about doing the flu vaccine.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's good, huh?
So this is the Bordetella.
Good job.
How do you like that one? Or do you prefer the cheese off the cookie than the cookie itself? Hold on.
Nice job. Inertia continues to do amazingly well at the vet. I just wish she was doing this well with her puppy biting. Let's do an update on puppy biting. As you can see, ouch, that really hurt. As you can see, Inertia is still biting, right? I've had her 3.5 weeks. I'm a dog trainer and she's still biting me. Remember that dogs are teething. They're just now learning how to interact with the world. Those things combined, create a biting machine. You can see even some of that shoelace biting is still around, though we have definitely made progress on it. That's enough, easy. Thank you. Yes, good job, very good. That was actually a really significant moment because she was showing restraint as I tied my shoes in front of her, which can be a trigger for biting shoelaces if you're an 11.5-week-old dog. So the behavior is being reduced. That was an unfortunate relapse there, but that's what you deal with when you have a puppy. Pant leg biting. Good. Remember, acknowledge the moment your dog stops biting. Okay, good job. She was offering a play dead there, which I'll take right now because it's not biting. In general, just to give you an update on what we've been doing to manage puppy biting, she's quite predictable, as puppies often are. The first thing to remember is to get very good at redirecting and acknowledging when your dog is not biting, especially when you can tell they're exhibiting even minor restraint. In the case of biting my shoelaces, it's quite predictable. Like, for example, I know that if I get up right now, there's a good chance she's gonna go for my pant leg or something down here. Let's see what happens. I mean, you can see she's already starting. Just by walking, she's in one of those moods. Now, those have been less and less recently. However, you know, it's still there. This just illustrates the point that, you know, you gotta have patience and it takes time. Now, since I'm gonna be one step ahead of her this time, knowing that when I stand up, I'm gonna look for a microsecond to reward. Yes, did you see how she started to look at my pants right there? I mean, it was very subtle. But what did I do? I didn't wait for her to fail. I acknowledged that she didn't yet go for my pants. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna walk this way. Yes, good. No biting that time. Okay, come on. Yes, good. Okay, come on, 2, 3, some jumping, but no biting, so that's okay. I'm still gonna reinforce the no biting. Come on. Yep. Do you see how quick I'm acknowledging? Leave it. Right there. Yes. Did you see that really good moment? She started to go for my shoes. She's like, wait a minute, I think I'm not supposed to do this. I really want that chicken. What do I have to do to get it? And in this case, I was right there to say, whoa, you made the right decision. That's what puppy biting is all about. If you're a beginner and you've never trained a puppy before, getting really good at managing puppy biting requires excellent timing, which requires experience. But if you're really committed and you're into training your dog, you'll be there. But understand there is a learning curve and that's okay. It's gonna make you a better trainer in the long term if you prioritize getting really good with your timing now. Hey, yes. So that is like, she has just started, probably in the last 24 hours, starting to lick where she would otherwise bite. That was a pretty good example. Because right now, a puppy's default is to bite, bite, bite. And the next phase is how to teach them to lick, lick, lick in place of where they used to bite. Of course, then if the licking becomes excessive, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But this is a priority to get this biting under control. The reason I'm excited about the licking is because that's what biting evolves into if you're doing your job right. That's a good way to measure progress. See, look, biting, ouch. That one's a little hard. Yes, good, I'll take the lick, yes, I will. For those of you out there with puppies and they're going through this hardcore biting phase right now, understand it is unrealistic to resolve this issue overnight. It's gonna take some time, but by being consistent, you'll get through it. You'll understand by training your dog, you'll need good currencies. Now, in Inertia's case, she loves food as currency, as you've been seeing today, and she also loves to play. But the time has come to really start to get her to understand that we can use play as a currency. In other words, I can teach her to work for play, do things that I ask in exchange for an awesome play session. Sit. Yeah, good job, just like that. See, so she sat and she got to chase a ball. I have dabbled with this, but the time is coming now that we're starting to get a little bit of traction on our communication for her to really understand this concept of working for a toss of a ball or a tug of a tug toy for a few seconds. We're not talking about a full-on round of 5-minute fetch for doing a sit. We're just talking about a brief toss of the ball like that. Over here, what's this? Come here. Over here, and sit. Get it, yes. Let go. Yes, sit. And, okay, get it. Perfect. Come on. Good girl. So sit's one thing, but I don't want her to just learn how to sit for a toy. Sit, down. Withholding the reward. She didn't do what I asked there, so I'm withholding it. Lie down. Okay, get it. Good job. Nice work, girl. What do you do here, right? She's lost interest in the toy and she's like, I want to play with my leash instead. And I have her on leash because I want to keep her in my immediate area here for the lesson. Her let go has been doing really well. Let me see if we can do a generalized let go. In other words, outside of a fetch session, because right now she's just saying, I want to play tug with this leash instead. Let go. Let go. Yes, good. I mean, really good organic example right there. She let go of the leash, and how did I reward? I rewarded with the toy. Now she's going back into the leash. This time I need to get her to let go of the leash, reward with the ball, and anticipate that she's likely to go back for the leash. Let go. Yes, get it, perfect. Good. Now this time, when I get the ball, I'm gonna keep her interest on this and try and rapidly get her back into a sit. See, she got the leash anyway. Even though I was anticipating she would do that, she still got it. It happens. Let go. Yes, get it. Perfect, okay. So we're making some traction here. She's sitting, lying down, doing various behaviors for the promise of a toy, even letting go of the leash, so we're on the right track. But you might have noticed too, as she gets the toy, she's not really bringing it directly back. She's kind of running around with it. So she'll go after the ball, but look, if I do this, she's still got that habit of running away. I've been very tolerant of this bad habit for the last 3 weeks because it's much more important to me that she's interested in that toy than it is that she bring it back perfectly. But we're gonna work on teaching her how to bring back that toy more reliably because the honeymoon phase is over when it comes to not bringing back the toy. Fetch is gonna be an essential part of my training with this style of dog. One of the reasons that fetch is so important is when you have an energetic dog who's biting like this and really frantic, they need that exercise. That's one of many reasons it's so important to really get a polished game of fetch going. Fetch is where your dog chases that toy in a straight line, immediately picks it up, returns in a straight line, promptly lets go, and eagerly awaits the next throw. One of my favorite ways to teach a dog to retrieve a toy is to run from them. Good, come here. See how she does that? That's the habit I'm trying to break. But I have a bit of a problem here because in this studio, I kind of run out of room to get her to chase me. She's like, oh, once you're only that far away, I no longer want to keep chasing you. So the farther away I am, the more likely she is to chase me. So I've got an idea. I've got a door over here and that will allow me to extend my training area a bit. Here we go, get it. Good. Clapping my hands, getting excited, going farther. And that got the ball a little bit closer to me. Good. Go get it. Good. Come on. See, right here, right, that extra effort is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get her to drop it on this part of the floor. Come on. Come on. Let go. Her impulse is to run away with the ball. That's true with almost all dogs as they're learning fetch. Yes, good, right there. There was a drop, so I immediately rewarded her with the toy. In other words, the thrill of the chase is reinforcing enough to her. Get it. Come on. Yes. Come on. Nope. Good. All right, so here she's let go of the ball. This is a good moment. Yes, good girl. Come on. Come on. Yes. Right there. Good. Get it. So I'm trying to find that moment where she like gives up on the game of keep away and is like, okay, I'll drop it. Come on. Good. Again, slow. See that? See how slow I'm going? Get it, good girl. Let me see now if I can start to not have to open the door and run halfway around the block to get her to return it to me. Come on. Yes, good. And so I'm gonna have to work on this for weeks, guys. This is not something that happens quickly. This is just the very beginning phase of her learning how to bring that toy back to me. That's a lot of work too, but so worth it moving forward. On a side note, you can see an immediate difference in her behavior. She's a lot more chill, still a little bitey, but not anywhere near as frantic and energetic as she was a moment ago. I'm gonna give you an update on where her stand is right now. We worked on this not too long ago, and our first training session on this was nowhere near the finished product. I feel like she's getting close to grasping this concept of standing on all fours. This is valuable for vet visits or when you're grooming your dog or giving them a bath or whatever. And it's also a great way to just improve your communication. Sit. Yes. So I'm getting her into a sit. Now I'm gonna lure her back into the stand. Yes. Good. I'm releasing more and more treats. Yes. Okay. Good job. She did take a couple of steps there, but she's trying, so I'm not gonna be too stingy on my rewards right now. And so the idea is to just get her standing for a second. Yes. 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 Okay, good. Do you see how I mean, I was like, yes, I like that you stayed for a quarter second there and another quarter second and then another quarter second. And then I released her from the stand before she failed and took a step and moved those feet. So I caught her succeeding. That is the whole theme of teaching your dog. Clearly, I don't want to have to constantly reward for something like stand every quarter second moving forward. So let's see if I can make a bit of progress on that and maybe get her to stand for a longer period of time between reinforcements. When I'm rapidly acknowledging it and rewarding one after the other, that's called a high rate of reinforcement. I'm trying to lower that rate of reinforcement, at least during this particular training session, and see if that really makes the light bulb go off for her. Stand. Yes. Oh, see, right there, I should have released her before that foot went forward. Sit. Good. Gonna reward her on sit, and can we stand? Huh? Closing it, yes. If this will keep her in position, then I'll keep the treats glued to her nose and I'll even let her nibble on them a little bit. If this continues going well, I'll try to get the treats farther away from her nose and have her hold this position later. I've got to admit, this still isn't looking that great as far as I'm concerned, so I've got a lot of work to do here because she keeps moving those feet. She's not ready for a lowered rate of reinforcement just yet. I'm gonna continue to work with her for a few minutes. A couple of minutes of really focused training got her in the zone. Stand. I know this looks like a lot of treats, but remember, I'm using small pieces of meat right now, about the size of a grain of rice. And this is proving to be very reinforcing to inertia. I'm pulling away. Yes. Yes. Okay, good job. So that was pretty good there. I mean, she was preoccupied with the treats, but you noticed that those feet weren't moving at all. And that's what I'm really going for. I'm looking for her to hold those feet in one position, stand. Good. Yes. Good. And okay, good job. Want to quit while you're ahead. That's the tricky part because you're kind of gambling each time. So it's really important to not drive them to break that position. Let's do an update on Get Your Tail. Let's see where she is with that. So far, it's been easier to have her in the lie down position. Good. Ooh. Can you get your tail? Sometimes she has a hard time finding her tail. Get your tail. Yes! She's thinking about it. Get your tail. Almost. Get your tail. Yes! And I'm trying to get her to bite her tail there. And inertia. Get your tail. Yeah! Good job! So Get Your Tail is looking pretty good. You can see a past episode to see how we taught that. This is one of her longest training sessions to date. We were here about an hour and 15 minutes. Let go. Good job, thank you. But I think she's doing a great job. You can see how much calmer and more focused she is. So if you have rambunctious puppies, this is why mental and physical stimulation is so important for them. We're continuing to take inertia to new places virtually every day at this age. I really want her comfortable with playing fetch in a variety of outdoor environments moving forward. But because of her vaccination status, I can only take her to places where it's likely dogs don't frequent. I found an isolated baseball field and worked on fetch, and she broke her personal distance record. If you want even more detail, follow me on Instagram. Get your dog's food automatically shipped to you from PetFlow. I'll have a link below. Subscribe to my channel and click that bell notification so you'll know every time I upload a video. If you want to know more about this, I talk about this a lot in both of my books. I'll have links in the description as to where you can get those. You won't believe how much we're covering in the next episode. I'll take Inertia to puppy class. She'll learn how to shake for the first time. Potty training. Of course, her puppy biting will need constant attention. I'll give you some advice on dealing with frustration. We'll do a checkup on her indoor leash walking, leash biting, and her real life Leave It. I can't wait to see you in the next episode.